Hey, thanks for being here. Let's talk. This is where the music usually comes in, but today, New Year, New Me. Can I still say that in March? It's the 23rd of March. um, I'm trying something I've never been brave enough to do. And I'm saying brave because if you know me personally, you know that like I'm in my head all the time. But I think even if you follow this channel, whether it be the podcast or the YouTube channel or my website long enough, you know that I'm very brave. I'm very in my head. And that is not very brave because I tend to over edit and second guess everything I do before I post it. Which I guess is why I don't post as frequently as most like YouTubers or podcasters or whatever. And I really wouldn't really call myself that, but whatevs. So what's happening tonight is I'm really, really trying to do something that is outside of my comfort zone by posting this unedited podcast slash video. I'm just going to make it a video for YouTube so that I'm going to put some like images on it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I'm going to post it on the podcast first and then put it on YouTube. But yeah, it's basically me trying to have a conversation that is completely 100% authentic without me having an opportunity to go back and edit and remove that which I think you might think is silly or dumb. But I'm doing this because yesterday I thought, hey, let me try these makeups. So I'm not a makeup girly, and as much as I really actually deep in my heart wish I could be, I'm not. Yeah. So yesterday I put on some thing. Orange. It's an orange thing on my eyes, colleagues. I don't know what it is. It's a thing I bought. It's what is it called? Eyeshadow. It's an eyeshadow, right? So I put an eyeshadow, and I thought, hey man, it's me. It's your girl. So I took a picture. I took a couple of pictures, and by a couple I mean like 175. I'm kidding. I took like 5 pictures, and I was like, these ones are fine. So I kept like 3 or 4, but I forgot about it completely. And today I was looking for in my photos. I was looking for a picture that someone had sent me on WhatsApp, and I stumbled across these pictures, and I thought, hey man, why can't I post them? So so I was like, yeah, let the world see that even me also I can with these makeups. If you've seen it and you realize that the makeups I'm talking about, okay, I'm being deliberate, but the makeup I'm talking about is not serious. Please do not come for me on these interwebs. But I just thought like, yeah, this is nice. I like it, and I posted it, and I thought, and immediately I was like, my skin is so textured. There's no filter. There's no whatever. All I have on is this blush and foundation, and I thought, hey man, this is a mad thing. Maybe people won't like it. And then I spoke. I think little me. I think 16-year-old me like jumped out and said, hey, do you know how long it's taken you to get to a point where you think you are enough, man? And I was like, yeah, it's true. Sorry, 16-year-old me, please go write your exams. You have exams tomorrow. So I posted them, and if you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or WhatsApp, you've seen them, so you know what I'm talking about. They're not remarkable, but they are they're not like remarkable in the sense of like, makeup is on fleek or whatever. And they are quite texturized, and seasons are changing, and my allergies are allergying. But for a second I thought, hey man, this is who I truly am, and I'm not gonna compare myself to any sort of either Eurocentric or racially ambiguous standard. I am me with my round nose and my very rich, thick, curly, very tight curled hair, and my full lips and my very dark skin. Like I'm fine. I'm not only fine, I'm wonderful. I'm happy here. So I wrote something spontaneously, which actually happens a lot, which you wouldn't believe if you followed like my blog and my podcast. You wouldn't think I write so much random poetry, but I do. And I do it quite often, and it kind of stays in my drafts, or like I post like one line on my Instagram. But this is a very short poem. I'm not very long-winded. I'm long-winded in speech, but not so much in poetry. So I thought, let me record this and recite it. So now you're 5 minutes in, and you're like, girl, recite the dawn poem. So I don't make a habit of, as much as I go to poetry shows, I never recite my own poetry because, as I said, or I'm always in my head. But I wanted to share this one for 16-year-old me, and 8-year-old you if you're hearing this, and 30-year-old you, 20-year-old you, 40, 50, 60, 70. I hope that if you're listening to this, you can substitute the me that I'm saying with you and make it your own personal me. Yeah, so let me do this. It's called the standard, but it's also called me, because I am the standard. Anyway, so I'm so nervous. I'm trying everything to avoid this, but let me get into it. So it's called the standard, and it's also called me. My beauty standard is me. My goal for passion is the most passionate version of me. My peace standard is me after a nap on freshly changed linen with a scented candle burning. My flawless or not skin standard is me. My hair goals are me. My self-awareness goal is me on a day when I look in the mirror and I see my ancestors staring back at me. My everything standard is me. I am everything I need and want to be. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is my very first public recital of a poem. So now you have a reference. If you've read any of my previous poems on my website, you have a reference of what I sound like when I'm writing. A good night, and thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to me, and we'll talk again.